Good evening students, welcome to the IAS network. So for today we are going to discuss about the current affairs of 19th of August. Join me as soon as it's possible, then we will start the discussion of today's current affairs. So there were 5-6 topics, they are in the news for today's articles. Join it guys, then I will start the discussion of these first type of topics. So the first topic for today guys, it is PM Cares Fund. What is that? There was huge roar related to the PM Care Funds. Who can withdraw, who can basically deposit the money under PM Cares Fund, as well as audit type of process. They were in the news, as well as it's a comparison of the PM Cares Fund with the PM National Relief Fund. So we will be discussing these all things. The second topic for today we will discuss guys, it is Asian Development Bank. It is hugely in the news. The third topic for today, it will be RBI has recently proposed and recently it is about to set up the new retail payment entity in India. So what will be the provision of this particular entity, we will also discuss. The fourth topic for today, it will be guys, there is an international location, international country. It is again in the news, Libya. It is war torn country. So what are the specifications, what is the location of Libya, and what are the means international efforts to stabilize it, we will also discuss about it. The fifth topic for today guys, very important, recent report has been released related to cancer registry in India. We will be discussing important articles, important suggestions have been given under this report. The third and the sixth and last topic for today guys, it is flood and national the responsibility of National Disaster Management Authority to control the flood kind of situation in India. Let's discuss it guys. Let's start the discussion for today. The first topic, it is in the news guys, PM Cares Fund. It is again in the news why it was established. See, PM Cares Fund, PM Cares Fund, why it has been basically set up in India, and what are the basic regulations of PM Cares Fund, let's discuss about it guys. Recently it has been set up to provide the fund to the urgency kind of situations, especially due to COVID-19 situation. The country is basically suffering from a huge crisis. So to fund these kind of activities, the voluntary donation, it is basically for the voluntary donation. It is not 100% under the government support. So guys, why it has been set up? If the COVID-19 situation has been taken place in India, and guys, the situation and healthcare related activities, they are not doing good. So to get the fund specifically from the citizens of India, voluntarily this fund has been set up, right? So what are the provisions of it guys? This fund, the fund is 100% registered under the Trust Act. It is basically registered trust. It is a registered trust under the Trust Act. It means it is not it is not under the public account of India. Try to remember it, public account of India. It is not registered under that. That is Article 266 sub part of the 2. It consists the public account of India. So the PM Cares Fund, it is not under public account of India. Very important, try to remember it. The second important provision of it guys, it is anyone can donate in this particular fund. If anyone, let's say as an example, me, if I just want to donate under PM Cares Fund, I am free to donate it, right? And if I will be donating, 100% income tax exemption has been provided under Income Tax Act. Please try to remember it. If anyone is donating under PM Cares Fund, 100% tax exemptions will be provided, right? And one more important specification of PM Cares Fund, it is guys, foreigners, can they donate, or any of the person which are residing in the foreign, guys, they will be getting some kind of relaxations under Foreign Currency Regulation Act, and they can obviously deposit the fund in the PM Cares Fund. Very important, extremely important kind of point. Again, I am repeating it, any of the foreign national just want to deposit the fund under PM Cares Fund, or any Indian which are residing in the foreign territories can deposit the fund in the PM Cares Fund, right? So FCRA kind of regulation sanctions under it will not be imposed, will not be applicable to the citizens. And the most important thing is guys, it is not under public account of India, so that is why CAG cannot audit it. That is really important point. Extremely important, CAG cannot audit it, and Supreme Court has recently stated about it that the requirement of the CAG related audits related to PM Cares Fund, it is not required in the present scenario, because it is a registered trust, not registered under public account of India. Extremely important fund. Extremely important point. Let's move on to the next topic, guys. One more thing that was also discussed, guys. One more point it was also discussed, said about it. It is PM National Relief Fund. When it was set up and what was the specifications, there was some comparison related to PM National. Yes, one more thing I just want to tell you about PM Cares Fund. Who is the chairperson, guys? Who is the chairperson of it? Guys, Prime Minister, it is a ex-officio chairperson. And who are the dignitaries, members of it, guys? Minister of Home Affairs plus Minister of Defense, and one more minister it is there, guys, Minister of Finance. These are the members, and PM is the ex-officio chairman of PM Cares Fund. One more thing I just want to tell you about it, guys. That was hugely in the debate and discussion. If any of the corporate person, if any of the corporate person just want to donate in the PM Cares Fund, the donation will be considered as the CSR expenditure. CSR expenditure means corporate social responsibility. Those all corporates which are having the companies and having good amount of turnover or investment limits or net profit, they will be qualified, and it will the expenditure under it, donation under it, it will be qualified for the CSR kind of expenditure, right? So the CSR expenditure, CSR kind of provisions will definitely be provided under the donation of it. So I'm also explaining what is CSR. CSR, there are three categories, guys. There are some kind of social and environmental regulation or some kind of obligations of the industrialist, because they are also polluting the environment, as well as in any of the area in which they are located, they are having some kind of social regulations. There are three criteria of it. The first important criteria of the, guys, CSR expenditure, it is if any of the person is having net profit of more than 5 cr, net turnover if it is more than 100 cr, and if the net worth, guys, if it is more than 500 cr, the person will have to expend 2% of average last 3 years profit. This is called CSR. I also discussed it because CSR, some kind of exemptions have been provided under it. So let's move on to the next topic, guys. This is the PM Cares Fund. It is also being compared with the PM National Relief Fund, Prime Minister National Relief Fund. What exactly it is? See, PM National Relief Fund, and one more thing I just want to tell you, PM Cares Fund will not be getting any budgetary support. Very important kind of point. Budgetary kind of support will not be provided by the side of the government. Extremely important point. Let's move on to the PM National Relief Fund, guys. In the 1948, the partition between 47 partition has been taken place. Some families, they were returning. There were a lot of migrants, they were returning from Pakistan to India, and government of India was running out of the funds. So obviously, guys, government need to manage the resources, especially for the well-being of the people. So our Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru has announced to set up a fund that was called as PM National Relief Fund, and for the rehabilitation of the persons which they have migrated from Pakistan to India. Very important. Again, the important, guys, most important, there are some kind of similarities between PM National Relief Fund and PM Cares Fund. It is also not getting any budgetary support. Any budgetary support was not provided to the PM National Relief Fund. 100% income tax deduction whomsoever is depositing the money. Third one is it is also applicable for the CSR kind of activities, right? So these all points, they were also applicable to the PM National Relief Fund, right? So we have discussed everything in this regard. One more point, guys, Supreme Court has also made with regard to this. They see PM Cares Fund should no moving of the PM Care Fund to the NDRF, National Disaster Response Fund. Very important point. See, what is NDRF? National Disaster Response Fund. It means any of the disaster, let's suppose flood kind of situation, earthquake can also take place, as well as some other kind of landslide has been taken place. These are some of the natural disasters that can take place in India. So National Disaster Response Fund has been set up under Disaster Management Act of 2005. Extremely important point. The second most important point, it is, guys, it is related to it. It is, guys, it falls. There are two kind of regulation. Who is the regulatory authority, guys? Who is the regulatory authority of PM, not PM, National Disaster Response Fund? Guys, there are two kind of regulations. One, if the if if the natural calamity or flood or earthquake kind of situation or drought kind of situation has been taken place, they are more or less related to agriculture. So agriculture will be basically the monitoring authority under the natural hazards related to agriculture. So Ministry of Agriculture. Other than that, other than agriculture kind of calamities like flood and all, it will be supervised by Ministry of Home Affairs. Extremely important point. This is related to NDRF. So Supreme Court have categorically stated that there is no need to deposit the fund of PM CARES fund to the National Disaster Response Fund. Extremely important. So I also discussed it, what is National Disaster Response Fund and under which of the act it has been set up. Right, so we have actually discussed each and everything in this regard. So I also discussed there is no need to for any kind of audit by the CAG because it is just registered under the trust. One more point, I just want to tell you guys, if it would have been registered under under the public account of India, then guys the audit could have been done by the CAG. Please remember it. If any of the let's say yes, one more thing, NDRF, National Disaster Response Fund, it is being registered under public account of India under article 262 sub clause 2. So it means the audit report, it is being prepared, it have to be prepared by the CAG. So in case of the PM CARES fund, PM National Relief Fund, they are not registered under public account of India. So CAG kind of audit reports should not be prepared by the CAG, Comptroller and Auditor General of India. So I have discussed each and everything in this regard. What is guys PM CARES fund, who can donate it, if any kind of CSR activity is taking place. Then I also told you that what is CSR. One more thing I just want to tell you about the CSR. Which of the ministry that is basically controlling the CSR activities, guys? Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Please remember it. These kind of means deviatory statements can be put in the exam. So we have discussed everything in this regard. Who can donate under it? Either they can got the income tax exemptions or not. PM National Relief Fund. What is NDRF? We have discussed everything in this regard. Let's move on to the next topic for today. That is Asian Development Bank and what are the specifications of Asian Development Bank. See, Asian Development Bank. Asian Development Bank, guys, has been set up first. Try to remember the establishment year of the international bodies can be put in the exam. There is a huge possibility in this case, right? So Asian Development Bank has been set up in the 1996, guys. India was one of the founding member. Of it. Please try to remember. Extremely important point. See, and where is the headquarter located? Sometimes the factual kind of questions can be put in the exam. Headquarter, it is being located in the guys Manila, Philippines. It is being located. It is located over there. One more thing I just want to tell you guys. The most important thing it is, guys, shareholding, especially in the Asian Development Bank. Shareholding, guys, Japan and US, they are having equal shareholding. It means they are more or less they are holding around 15.66% of the Asian Development Bank total capital. So it means Japan and US are the largest shareholder, guys. Japan, US, then guys China, then India, and then Australia. Extremely important point. India was the fourth largest holder, especially in the Asian Development Bank. Extremely important point. Try to remember this one. So I discussed it. I also discussed everything in this regard. What is the shareholding? Japan, and again I am repeating it. Japan and United States are the largest shareholder, specifically in the Asian Development Bank. So let's move on to the next topic, guys. For which of the activities it can basically lend, right? For which of the activities it can lend? Some of the doubts are asking Ragul. No problem. So let's move on. For which activities? Which activities it can donate? It can grant the loan. See, it also provide line of credit. It means for some kind of activities. Let's say to support the countries for any kind of, let's say, environmental related activities, and it also provide the loan to the member countries. Loan, it means let's say if India is demanding for the loan related to dam construction or any of the communities which they have been affected by the dam construction, for the rehabilitation, it can provide the loan to India, right? So, and one more thing, important point is, guys, can it provide the loan to the private companies? Can it lend to the private companies? Yes, the private companies can get the loan from the Asian Development Bank. So it means the Asian Development can also provide the loan to the private companies. Very, very important point. If the examiner will be putting this kind of a statement that it cannot provide the loan to the private entities, 100% wrong statement, right? So we have discussed everything. And one more thing, guys, ADB has drawn down some kind of a strategy related to it. See, Asian Development Bank strategy 2030, strategy for 2030, to which of the sector it will be lending, what are the criteria for the lending, it has mentioning, it is having some kind of provisions related to it, right? So I have discussed everything in this regard. See, and it has also lended for the Delhi Meerut Regional Rapid Transport, US dollar 1 billion. So these all points are really, really important related to it. Why it is in the news? Election commissioner has recently resigned and about to join as a vice president of Asian Development Bank. So again, it is going to be a very good point specifically for India, guys, so that in the decision making process one of the Indian member can be there, and it can basically provide, it can basically grant more loans to the India specific. One more point I just want to discuss, that if the Indian member will be selected in the as a vice chairman of Asian Development Bank, it can basically provide more loan for the poverty eradication program. Because see, you might have heard about the World Bank, guys. World Bank, the actual motive of the World Bank was after Second World War, the mass scale destruction has been taken place to rehabilitate, reconstruct the world order, as well as to provide the loan to the poorest countries of the world for the poverty eradication. Asian Development Bank is more or less following the same kind of ideology. It is also providing the loan for the poverty eradication programs, and India is also getting the loan under a lot of initiatives. So that's all, we have discussed everything in this regard. Let's move on to the third topic for today, guys. New entity for retail payment in India. What exactly it is, and what are the proposed, what will be the specifications of the proposed entity for the retail payment. Let's discuss it. See, RBI has recently drawn down a framework to establish a new entity, and what will be the new entity, guys? It will be, guys, sole retail payment managing authority. Retail payment, it means, guys, on all kind of online payment by the cards, as well as point of sales machines. These all type of payments will definitely be regulated by the entity which will be set up under by the RBI. And under which act, guys? Under which acts are really, really important act, guys. Payment and Settlement System Act of 2007. Under this act, this body will be incorporated, and this will be the sole managing authority of India's retail payment. Please try to remember this particular one. And if any of the foreign nationals just want to invest and incorporate any kind of entity under it, to the individual, guys, FDI limits have been permitted 40% under it, right? So this is the retail corporation, retail entity which will be set up, and it as well as it will also be managing authority of the ATMs. Managing authority. As of now, if the examiner will be asking as of now which of the entity, it is basically the sole managing authority of retail payment, guys. Retail payment as of now in India, guys, you might have heard about National Payment Corporation of India. It is basically not for profit company registered under Company Act, and it is an umbrella organization, has been set up under Payment and Settlement System Act of 2007. As of now, this body is the sole controlling authority of retail payment in India. After that, after being set up this particular body, this will be the sole determining managing authority of retail payments of India. And this body which RBI is going to set up, guys, it will be registered under one more thing, Company Act of 2013. Extremely important point, will be registered under Company Act of 2013. So these are some of the major provisions of this particular one. And one more thing, guys, as of now, who is the managing authority of all ATMs in India? All ATMs, automatic teller machines in India, who is the managing authority as of now? I'm talking about as of now, NPCI. if there will be this kind of question in the prelims, that as of now which body is the sole managing, sole determining, sole controlling authority of ATMs in India? It is NPCI. Later on, after that, this body or any of the name can be given by RBI. This body will be taking everything and it will be controlling the ATMs in India, right? So we have discussed everything in this regard. Everything and every specification of this body has been discussed. Let's move on to the next topic, guys. It is Libya. See, Libya, why it is in the news, guys? It is basically civil war torn country. Civil war it is currently going on in the Libya. So guys, the location of the Libya becomes really important. Please try to understand what is the actual conflict, guys. There are two parallel governments. There are two parallel governments which they are ruling specifically in the Libya. One is, guys, backed by the international organizations like United Nations, USA, UK, India, and all. The another one it is, guys, it is supported by the UAE as well as rebels. UAE rebels, Saudi Arabia, and these Gulf countries, they are supporting to that particular government. So Libya, again it is on the news. So the location of Libya, please try to remember it. Libya, guys, it is obviously located just on the banks of Mediterranean Sea. It means if this will be the statement in the actual exam, Libya, is it a landlocked country? Is it a landlocked country? 100% it is not a landlocked country. It is touching the borders of Mediterranean Sea. The capital is Tripoli and it is being controlled by the government. And what are the bordering countries, guys? Algeria, Mali, Niger, Chad, Sudan. Please try to remember the names. Egypt. These are the countries which are basically bordering to the Libya, and it is war torn country. Civil war still it is there. Sometimes back ISIS has also said that territorial claims, they have been said that they have also seized the port of Libya. So please try to remember the location of the Libya. This can easily be asked in the exam, and it is touching the borders with the Mediterranean Sea. Let's move on to the next topic for today, guys. National Cancer Registry Programme report. Very important. Mark a star on it. Who is the National Cancer Registry Programme report, guys? Who is the releasing authority of it? Can be asked. ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research. This body falls under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Also try to remember these such type of bodies. Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, ICMR, has released this kind of report for this year. What are the conclusion? What are the findings of this particular report, guys? The cases of the cancers. The cases of the cancers in India, they are exponentially increasing. They are on the increasing trend, and the trend as per regional basis. Please try to remember the regional trend. This kind of a statement can be put in the actual exam, that in the North India the cancer cases are exponentially increasing. Will be the wrong statement. In the northeastern India, the maximum cases of the cancer increment have been noticed by the ICMR, right? So in the northeastern region, why the guys, what is the major reason for the cancer? It is, guys, tobacco. It is the tobacco consumption it is exponentially increasing in the northeastern areas. So that is why the cancer cases are also going up, they are also going high. The second thing is, guys, two more findings have been found. Two separate columns have been drawn up for the cancer, guys, male and female. For the male, the main reasons, guys, main cancer, the type of cancer is, it is, guys, mouth cancer. The second is lung cancer. These are two most prominent parts of the cancer. In the female, guys, breast cancer, and the second one is, guys, cervical cancer. These are the two dominant kind of types of cancers. They have been recently drawn up by the ICMR. ICMR has recently drawn down these kind of conclusions related to cancers in India. So guys, I also said about the tobacco consumption, it is increasing. So I should also discuss about the tobacco. You might have heard about, guys, tobacco. Why the consumption it is increasing? That is also some certain reasons behind it. The demography of India, it is also usually responsible. The likability of the tobacco. But one more thing, guys, government just want to discourage the tobacco production, by which mean government has excluded the tobacco crop from the MSP. As of now, if there will be this kind of a statement that government is also providing the MSP for the tobacco crop, will definitely be the wrong statement. It is not under MSP, minimum support price. Please try to remember it, right? And India is also signatory authority of guys Framework Convention on Tobacco Control of 2007, and India is a signatory authority of it. So that is why it is the responsibility of Government of India to control the tobacco consumption. Government of India's responsibility. So recently you might have heard about it, e-cigarette. E-cigarette, although it is not under Framework Convention on Tobacco Control, but even though it was containing the nicotine, so that is why government has banned this all kind of substances related to e-cigarettes throughout India. Please try to remember it. E-cigarettes have been now, as of now, e-cigarettes have been banned from all parts of India. So we have discussed everything in this regard. What are the findings of this report? One more thing I just want to tell you guys, it is related to report, although the thing which I am going to tell you, it is not mentioned in this report, but one more, the earlier finding of the one ICMR report, that was, guys, India accounts for 27% of global TB burden. Guys, these kind of statements can be reflected in the actual exam. Please try to remember it. It was the earlier finding, not in this particular report. It is not this particular report's finding. In some of the earlier reports, it has been said that India accounts for globally for 27% of the TB burden. So extremely important. And what is the target of the government, guys? To eradicate the TB by 2025. Government just want to eradicate the TB. Please try to remember it. And one more thing, guys, Nikshe Poshan Abhiyan, it is also for the TB. Please try to remember it. Nikshe Poshan Abhiyan. In someday in the upcoming classes, I will also be discussing the TB in a very detailed way. Okay? I will also be discussing these all things in a very detailed way. So let's move on to the last topic for today, guys. It is flood and the role of National Disaster Management Authority. Flood and role of National Disaster Management Authority. Please first try to remember it. What is flood? See, the basic of each and everything, it is really important. What is flood? Means which part of the cervical cancer, it is for the woman specifically. Ragul Nagarajan, it is for the woman, not for the male. I have categorically discussed about it. It is related to female, so it means it's basically for the female. So try to remember the basic. Flood is a situation, guys, in which the land that generally does not carry the water, it basically fills and submerged under the water. This is called as flood. This is called as phenomenon of the flood. It is official definition of National Disaster Management Authority. Now let's move on to the NDMA. What is NDMA, guys? It is a statutory body registered under Disaster Management Act of 2005. Please try to remember it. It's a statutory body. It means under an act it is being registered. Disaster Management Act of 2005. It basically incorporate these kind of provisions related to NDMA. The second most important thing is, guys, this body is basically attached. It is having attached office to the Ministry of Home Affairs. There are various departments under Ministry of Home Affairs related to drought kind of provisions or disaster kind of provisions. So MHA, it generally falls and having attached office with the Ministry of Home Affairs. But the thing is, guys, who is the chairman of this particular body? These kind of awkward facts UPSC can pick. The Prime Minister is the chairman of National Disaster Management Authority. Extremely important. So if in the indirect way UPSC just want to mention it, Narendra Modi is the chairman of it, this will be the 100% right statement. So this is related to NDMA. I discussed about it. Disaster Management Authority. See, there are basically National Disaster Management Authority. PM is the official chairman. There are certain level. State Disaster Management Authority. The CM is the basically chairman of it. And District Disaster Management Authority, they are also being set up under it, and they are set up by the state governments. Please try to remember it. A state government generally used to set up the District Disaster Management Authority. So we have discussed everything in this regard. What exactly it is, what kind of body it is, and which kind of works and functions it basically do. It is basically doing the works related to the rehabilitation of the persons, as well as to help the persons which they are suffering from any kind of natural calamity like flood, like earthquake, like drought kind of situations. It is providing the relief to them. So that's all. We have discussed everything in this regard. We have discussed every topic for today. So what all topics we have discussed? PM Cares Fund, who is the managing authority, under which act it is registered, then Asian Development Bank, who is the largest shareholding of it, either India is a founding member of it, either India is getting the loan of it or not, new retail payment activities, then I have discussed the location of Libya. At last I have discussed the Cancer Registry Programme report of the ICMR. And then at last, guys, I have discussed the role of the flood, what is the basic definition of flood, and the role of NDMA, especially in the managing and controlling of flood, as well as who is the chairperson of the of National Disaster Management Authority in India. So guys, do like it, share it, and subscribe the IAS network. You will be getting the daily current affairs right at 7 p.m. We used to discuss the daily current affairs. So do like it, share it with the maximum friends, so that your maximum friends can get the benefit out of it. And because sharing is caring, you know, as well as this, also do subscribe the IAS network channel, so that you can get the notification whenever the class will start right at 7 p.m. Alright guys, thank you for attending the class, and good night and thank you for attending the class. Do attend the class as per regular basis. Please share it and